Hello, 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 and welcome to the Sheila C Hill Show. Oh my goodness, we're so glad that you're here today. The Sheila C Hill Show is just for you. And yes, the C stands for come on in this room and let's have a chit chat. Because this is where we're going to talk about some real talk today. Now, the Sheila C Hill Show is the ultimate go-to podcast for ambitious individuals who want to live a more fulfilling life and be more successful. And if you have valuable insights, and we're going to offer expert tips and inspiring stories to help you improve your lifestyle, grow your business, and enhance your emotional well-being. Now, in every episode, you're going to gain practical tips and insightful wisdom in the company of supportive community of like-minded individuals, whom I call Sheila's Thrive Tribe. So if you're ready to thrive, this is the place to be. Now, if you are new, I am your host, Sheila C Hill, and I would like to say to you just hello and welcome. Hello, bonjour, como esta, ni hao, howdy, and how y'all doing? What's going on, my people? Listen, you're new to the show. I would love for you to subscribe, follow, and share, and be a part of Sheila's Thrive Tribe, which is like-minded people who tune in on a regular basis, and we want to live a more successful life. So just remember, we're here to be positive and create a change the way that we envision it, okay? Because if you can dream it, it can happen. So today I'm so excited. We have our special guest that's coming up. Oh my God, this is going to be so cool. So listen, go get mama them, go get sister them. Y'all come on, gather around because we are about to get real. We're going to understand a lot of things. So our first guest, we do have Angela Charles. Oh my goodness. She is super dope. And y'all know we love super dope people up in this joint, okay? And she helps real estate investors make six figures through short-term rental. What can we get? What? Yes, that I told y'all she was dope. Okay, and we have a super dope brother on the show today too, Mr. J.R. Alexandre. Listen, he has been in real estate for over 9 years and customer service for over 20 years. And he has a vision to help so many people. So listen good and get ready. Buckle your seatbelt because we are getting ready to go on a ride. Let me tell you. So at this time, we would like to welcome Coach Angela
Hello.
and J.R. Alexander
Hello, hello. Thank you for
show.
having me. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
thank you for having us. Happy 4th of July. Happy 5th if you're in another country.
Yes.
Most definitely. We're so happy that you're here at the Sheila C. Hill Show, you guys. We're going to just relax and chill and just have a conversation because, listen,
Mhm.
both of you are entrepreneurs, and I just had a series of entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. I mean, it's definitely a roller coaster. It's the highs, the lows, the turns, the twirls, and everything else. So we're going to have a conversation that's going to help someone who may be in a situation in entrepreneurship and have doubts and just everything. So
Mhm.
I just want you all to tell your story. Can you give me an
Mhm.
overview? Coach Angela, can you give me an overview of what you do?
Right now, I help real estate investors find Airbnb friendly properties to make revenue. A lot of my clients, they do acquisition sales. So if you're not able to get an Airbnb, my clients, they're able to obtain the Airbnb unit for you, fully furnish it, and help people get into the industry. I do that. I also coach real estate agents on how to do exactly what I do. Um, Me and JR,
Oh,
we
wow.
also have a new business that we're getting ready to launch. Um, I'll let JR touch on that one, but it's going to be big for real estate agents, and anybody in the real estate business can also take advantage of it as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, JR, over to you. Just
Awesome.
give us an
Thank you.
overview.
Yeah, so basically,
Mhm.
I'm a 9-year real estate professional. I'm a mentor with the current brokerage I'm at, which is EXP Realty. I mentor new agents. I love teaching them just the ins and outs of like just being an entrepreneur. A lot of people are transitioning. I noticed some issues from becoming like a 9 to 5er to entrepreneur. So that seems to be one of my specialties. How to like get that gap, where you're like used to that 2 week paycheck, and like how do you like overcome that? So that's one of my passions, is like helping real estate entrepreneurs with that. Now, I actually met Angela through a group for one of the niches that we work, which is apartment locating, and through that we've developed
Okay.
a brother and sisterhood and business partnership. We saw some gaps and opportunities in the industry, where we can really help a lot of people. So we're excited to like partner and just help
Think he having some connection issues. Is it lagging for you?
to business. So you have to put your
They
head
are?
down. Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, we lost
Yeah,
you for
so
a
you have
minute.
to just keep your head down and just stay focused. Okay. Yeah, so basically I was just saying that we found some opportunities, and within that one business there's like several different layers to the business model, because
Okay.
there's so many issues within this one gap in the business. So we feel that we're going to revolutionize how the business is done. So we're excited to partner and just help so many others in the industry that are those agents that just started and they don't know what to do. So they need that guidance and that like transition into making cash flow quicker and more consistently as an agent, because that's really what most small businesses they
Mhm.
face. The biggest struggle is cash flow issues. So we came up with a
Uh-huh.
solution to help that, and also we have strategies to help businesses get to that point.
JR, we're gonna need you to get that
So,
internet. Okay, you broke up
Mm,
again.
yeah. Uh-huh. His internet
okay,
is.
Okay.
okay.
But that's
Well,
okay. We gonna get it all out.
Yeah,
We're
let's
gonna
get through
hear
it.
your story.
Hmm.
We're gonna get through it because I want to hear your story.
Hmm.
Because it sounds like you're very passionate. At the end of the day, you're helping people. And when you find a problem, when there's a problem and you find a solution, that's where you're actually helping someone, and also building. You can build a business when you have the solution. So it sounds like you all are having the solution to help in that gap in the market. So overall, when you do that, how do you identify like the profitable opportunities? Is it because you're in the market and you understand the model that you identify, the profitable opportunities?
Hmm.
I would say yes, but just because you see that the industry itself, there's a need, there's a lack of this particular service that we're offering. We essentially created a factoring company within our niche. Um,
Okay.
so there's nobody that's doing it. So we saw that gap and opportunity, and we're like, okay. And then we know how to actually produce at a high level. Angela does corporate leasing, which is the highest level, and she's like
Mm-hmm.
broken pretty much records where someone can go from like no money in a month to like creating over 6 figures in a month. And she actually is not doing a lot of work. So there's an opportunity, but the problem
Hmm.
is sometimes it just takes a long time for the payment. So you've
Right.
done this, you've done well, and then now you're like, I got to pay my bills, but I did my part. And that's the problem with real estate. That's one of the biggest issues with real estate, is because you're getting paid in arrears. You've done all this
Yeah.
work, then you have to wait 30 to 90 days to get paid, whether you're selling or leasing a house or a commercial property. That gap, most
Yeah.
people, they won't survive. That's why so many agents leave and go back to regular jobs, because they don't have that. So that's where now we're like, okay, here's the solution, but then also here's how you're going to maintain. And because especially as small minority business owners, we're not in the top when it
Okay.
comes to being real estate professionals already. So we're already at a disadvantage. So now, because of lack of other situations like business credit. If you're not consistently making money, how are you going to get business credit? If you don't have proper business credit, how are you
Right.
going to be, or credit, how are you going to get business credit?
I kind of
That is
want to
so
touch on
true.
the question, what you just asked, and when you said, how do we find basically,
So then,
how do we
yeah, business
dominate?
credit. But that's well, that's the thing. We've created, like, and another thing too, with the whole AI age, we've partnered with people who are like some of the top coders, like as far as writing the code for AI and different things. So now we have the other layers of the industry. So
Oh
now
wow.
we've thought, like, one thing I've read in this book, one thing I've read about in this book, Zero to One by Peter Thiel, he talks about for every solution that you create, you have to expect a certain amount of problems. So we already know we're going to be
Exactly.
making people more money. We know that. But we know that they didn't even know how to manage the money, because like you're talking about going from like not having a lot of money to having $100,000. How do you properly have your tax stuff set up? What bank accounts do you need to have set up? Like, how are you going to be able to like have reserves, and like what do you invest that money into so you can scale? Like, do you get a higher VA? Do all these things? And so we're like helping that infrastructure, and that's going to be part of our service to people
Mhm.
too, because we know
Okay.
that, all right, now you've gotten a lot of money. There's a problem that's going to come, because if you don't know what to do, you can easily lose it, or you're going to get hit with big tax bills because you're not properly doing the things that you need to do. So we're going to have it where the infrastructure is set so you can grow and scale, and also have the potential to not exit this business as an agent.
Mhm.
And that's another thing too. A lot of real
I
estate
was I
agents,
was
they
just
don't know
gonna
how to
say
exit.
that
So
too. With every business, every single thing that you do is gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Something is gonna happen. But the
Yeah.
people who are successful and the ones that make it are not the ones who cry and let it overcome them. Like sometimes it feels like the weight of the world is on some of the business on the shoulders. But if you can
Yeah.
get through the problem, properly plan it out, fight. We gotta fight some things, and those are the ones who make it, are the ones who fight through the problems, and that's what we done. Like we fought through almost everything
That
somebody
is
can
so
throw at
true.
us. Mhm.
just
I
a
mean, I
case
think
in point, right?
that's the misconception. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm.
No, you
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. Well, that's a
No,
case in
because
point. Like, man,
that's a misconception. What
Uh-huh.
people think, if it's hard, I'm not going to fight through it. So you're saying no matter what business you go into, you're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to
Mhm.
get the good, the bad, and the ugly comes with being an entrepreneur. So pushing through that just takes you to another level, because it's
Mhm.
the other side of it is greatness, right?
Right.
Go
Just
ahead,
like me
Jr.
and one of my
yeah,
clients,
definitely.
we did a $80,000 day, which was good when it
A
happened,
what?
but eighty
Uh huh.
thousand dollar day, which it was good when it happened, but we're dealing with issues that come up that's beyond our control, and we had to do almost $25,000 in refunds, which is fine because we still made good. But just like
Okay.
you're gonna make money, but there's gonna be a problem somewhere. It's not
Right.
every time, but we gotta stay positive, and we gotta, like I said, keep fighting through it, because we're better off today than we was yesterday. Is one of my favorite quotes, but it took today for us to realize it, and it's too late. So we just gotta keep going.
Mm. Hold up. I know my listeners are going to say, wait a minute,
Yeah.
$80,000 in a
Nah,
day.
see,
Let's come on, $80,000 in a day.
$80,000 in a day,
Sometimes people don't even make that for a year. Are you kidding
mm-mm.
me? See, that's what
And
I'm talking
it
about
was
next. Yeah.
crazy. hmm But it
Wow.
was because
Congratulations
if
on
we
that.
did not, thank you. But if we did not fight that whole year, we wouldn't have been where we are now to even be able to offer. Just imagine if even my client, she went through some things where she lost 25K in some other deals. So if she would have quit there, that if she would have quit there, then today we wouldn't even have that testimony, because I needed her and
Right.
she needed me. So
Right.
even if somebody that's listening, if you quit, you're playing with somebody else's destiny. So, and then you both
Ooh.
lose.
Ooh, come on.
Mhm.
Hold up. Let's pause on that one. Even if you quit, you're playing with somebody else's destiny. That's what we have
Mhm.
to understand. We live this life, but our life is not for just us. It is for
Mm-mm.
us to help other people when you go through. I
Yes.
love that, Angela. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's a
See,
bar.
I love it. Go ahead,
That's
Derek.
why that's why my background is my background, because like I never forget, like I'm Haitian American. I'm born here and I'm American. Happy 4th of July, y'all. But I'm also Haitian, so I never forget my roots and the essence. So for
Yeah,
me, like I know, like my dad, just short story, my dad came here, both his parents died. So just for me to be born in this country, I came from a lot. So you
yeah,
talking about a language barrier. My dad, didn't have the highest education, but he still was able to be successful. So that's what drives me. So I got no excuse. I have
that's
both my
right.
parents. They still living, even though things ain't perfect. I'm in America, so I better make it happen, because there's people back home. They ain't got no water. They don't have any
Come on.
electricity. They don't have food every day. So it's like, what's my excuse for not like going out and fighting hard? Because
Mhm.
entrepreneurship is actually easy compared to the hard life that they have. So
Mm,
it's like it's no excuse. I saw something today, and it was talking about the island of Haiti. It was talking about the sweetest fruit have the darkest peels. And I'm like, man, you talk about peels and things, like we had
mm,
such lows and highs just from starting this business. Like, we had an opportunity like to partner with someone. Now they're not responding. Like you're talking about, this person can help us skip 100 steps. So now we gotta like regroup and like we like bump it. We gotta figure it out
But
on our
with
own.
that, we already regrouped, redid it, and we ready to go. And by the time they're ready to come along, we might have some other investors. But
They're tight on.
that's right. And
mhm,
sometimes you have to pivot because
mhm,
things doesn't work out exactly the way. And listen, I'm the
mhm,
pivot queen. Let me tell you, if it didn't work out, I was like, okay, let me go try this. Let me try this.
mhm,
And someone else will come in your life, or you will like use that as fuel to get you to the next
mhm,
level. Because sometimes people think, oh, you just need me to be successful. No, I don't.
mhm,
I can, if you don't want
mhm.
to help, if you're not responding, okay, next caller, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. So
I like when
woo,
you said you tried this and you tried that, you tried it. Let me tell you something. I've been trying stuff since I was selling erasers in elementary school. I can tattoo some eyebrows on your head. I went tried taxes. I washed cars. I even volunteered at grocery. Anything you could imagine, I tried if it was a way to make money. But
yeah.
if you don't know what you're called to do or what
Mm,
you're passionate about, and it makes you money, then you missed it. And if you're stuck
mm,
at a job, and not saying nothing wrong with having a job, because by all means everybody has to work.
yeah.
But if you're at a job and you know you're not comfortable there, your boss fighting you, everybody fighting you, everybody against you, and it's time to go. So you need to sit down and make a plan, figure out, well, what can I do?
Mm,
Who life did I change when I made that cake? I seen how happy they was when I did my little designs or something like that, or when I made these shirts, or when I
mm,
did their hair, they were so happy. They felt so beautiful because she was down. Figure out what it is that you can do that's going to make a difference, that can also bring you money, and write it down. Write the vision, make it plain.
come on, sis.
Man,
Come on. Pass
man,
the
and
offering basket, somebody. Go
Angela's
ahead, JR.
Angela's giving
I'm
some
loving it.
bars. She's giving some bars because here's the
Yes.
thing. One of my mentors, Angela knows her too. Her name is Claudia Hibbert Smith. She loves saying this. A job is just over broke, right? I realized,
Yeah.
I'm not against it because I've had jobs in the past, but I realized like when I heard this stat, it blew my mind. Like there's over 4,200 companies that are in like they're traded on stock exchanges, right? And only like maybe 3 or 4 of them are black. So it really like bothered me because it's like, man, you know what? Like we sometimes we don't understand the power of like ownership, and just even if you have to sell to take another play, like look at the Elon Musk play. He was part of
Yeah.
PayPal, and then he ended up selling and investing all that money into SpaceX and Tesla, and now he's the richest man in the world.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
there's two lessons in that.
Mm,
One, like you need to sometimes have partnerships. Two, you need to be irrationally a risk taker, because like I'll spend my last, to invest in myself. And a lot of people, I met Angela because I invested in myself. And I'm gonna be real, like, I had to like ask my dad for the money to I went through a real big depression. Like this is a mental health show. So I knew and I saw Angela's
okay.
story
Mhm.
when she was sharing her story with people. I was like, man, she's a woman of faith. And I got crazy faith. I've seen some crazy stuff happen. Like my mother, she doesn't swim. She was found in the lake and she's still alive. She's drank bleach.
Wow.
She has mental health. My mom struggles from mental health issues. That's
Okay.
another reason why, I have to be successful, because I want other children
Yes.
to be able to, have the proper, I want to create a foundation. Like, these are my big whys. Haiti, mental health. Like, those are my things that
Right.
push me. So I have no choice, because you have to have something bigger than making money. Making money is nice for a car and house, but you're not going to really have no impact. I want, when I die, my name, that name, J.R. Alexander, I cared about people and I love people. So
Amen.
this journey, is not easy. So, you're going to have serious stuff that happens in your life. Angela's has some stuff for her family. I'll let her share her story. But for me, my mom is the thing that's in my life that's a constant. She's at the point now where in her life she's declining. She needs to have proper health care. So it's a constant thing. She needs to be monitored 24 hours a day. So it's one of those situations you can't be average and have that situation. The strain on my dad as a retired person is going to be too much. So us with the
And that's
energy.
the thing. You cannot be average. When I went into apartment
I love it.
locating, I went in there knowing that I wanted to dominate, knowing because in anything that I tried to do, I wanted to be the best at it. And I feel like I failed at that because I wanted to be the best at it for myself. But with this, I knew I needed
Yeah.
I needed to make money to be able to do something in the future. So then I had a purpose and a reason. So that's why I became so passionate about it. And I met JR through he said he invested in the program. One of our mentors, Pierre, that's how I met JR, and we clicked like this. He was going through something
Yeah.
and I had just overcame something. But just because you overcome something don't mean you're not gonna go through something again. So it's up
That's
and
right.
down. You gotta be
That's right.
strong and you can't give up.
Yeah. That's where
Listen, y'all are dropping some bars up in here today.
I mean, that's where you
Go
have
ahead,
to,
JR. Woo! I
that's where
love
you
it.
have to have the right people around you. We, number one, we have mentors. We have
Yeah.
people that are like-minded. So you got to be around people, because life's not going to stop. There's always going to be something. Like one of our mentors, Ed Sleminski, he
Yep.
always says, take care of
It's
today's
different.
problems today. So it's always take care of today's problems today. So that's always in the front of my mind, because,
Mhm.
there's things that, you can't control. Life is going to happen. There's going to be issues with your car. There's going to be issues with health. There's going to be issues financially. And if you're not if you don't understand that, when it comes up, you're not going to be prepared, because you're going to be so stressed and worried. This is going to happen. This is part of life.
Mhm.
There's ebbs and flows, but you got to be focused and locked in on a goal. So that, no matter what happens, we know that we've made this goal to get this done. And we can't let these obstacles, they're just distractions, because,
Yes.
that's all it is. It's a
It's
distraction
it
from.
and I know we're watching across different countries and different platforms and everybody have their own religion and own faith, but everything remains the same. You have to believe in everybody believes in something.
Right.
And what I believe in God and Jesus and all the things that I've been going through and have been through, and no matter what it is, I still give him the praise. And that's the
Yes.
secret. You have to praise and thank God through any obstacle that you're going through, or you're not gonna make it. The enemy will defeat you. And it says it in the
Mm.
word, and our people perish from a lack of knowledge. That be whether from the Bible or a book, a regular book. If you don't read, you don't research, you won't know anything. So
That's
that's why
right.
a lot of, like you said, there's only 3 Black people on that stock market thing. Why? Because they don't know about it, haven't read about it. They don't want to read. We don't want to educate
Mm.
ourselves. We're comfortable making it. We're not comfortable going above just making it. And we need people that's ready to go above just making it. We want to make a difference
Right.
and make a difference in people's lives.
And one thing I can say too, I
Most
found
definitely.
that I've had to, because basically we're co-founders of the company. Obviously I brought that idea to Angela, and then it was natural for her to be my partner, because we just talk basically almost every other
Yeah.
day or every day. So I say that as entrepreneurs and people that are trying to switch over, you need to understand the mindset. This is a mindset thing, so you got to shift. So what I've done is I've started reading more. Like once I got this knowledge, I'm like, all right, if I can't find the answers from people, like, and I don't have the funds right now to pay these people, I need to learn it from a book. So I've like immersed myself into Audible. So that's become like my thing. Like I'm reading 2 books right now, which are crazy. I'm gonna give shout outs. It's called the Entrepreneurial Growth Startup Handbook, and then how to license your $1 million idea. So
Oh,
like those 2 books, I'm reading them, and I'm like, I should be done with those books in like the next like week. But at the end of the day, it's like
uh-oh, we're
like you
broken
got
up.
24 hours a day.
Okay.
Oprah, the difference between us and the other people is the times that they use is it's 3 8-hour shifts. Basically 8 to sleep, 8 to work, and 6 to 8 to do every 168 hours. When I look at Audible, a book be like 9 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could read like chilling, I'm scrolling, like I'm not using my time effectively. So one just tip is like, you got to use your time better. And that's one thing I realized a lot of people
Most
aren't doing.
definitely.
Then they don't know why they're not growing or they're stale. And the answers are in the books. Like, there's a saying,
That is.
if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. I don't want to be that guy. My
But you know
uncle,
what?
I share that with him. He laughs all the time every time I say it. He's got his PhD.
But it's true. It is
Yeah, you're
true.
saying, you know what?
It's
I said,
true. It's true.
it
We
is,
getting better.
we're
We
getting
getting
better.
better though. I
So
see a
the
lot of
thing
black
is,
people that's a force.
yes, yes, yes. And that's the challenge. And that's why you
Mhm,
all are so important, because you're helping so many
mhm,
people go to the next level. You're educating them, but also you're being an example to them. Because a lot
mhm,
of times you have coaches, you have mentors, and they say, do what I say, not what I do. Sometimes they're
mhm,
not doing it. They just
mhm,
learn it and they're just going and teaching it. So
mhm,
you all are in the process, you're in the trenches, and you're learning from your own experience, and you're pushing it
mhm.
out and teaching others. This is so good. Listen, we're gonna have to take a break for a commercial, and we're gonna be
Okay.
back with more gems. They've been dropping some gems up in here. I am so excited to have you all today. But let me tell you, at this time, we're gonna go into another commercial, because I listen, y'all know how excited I get, and they is bringing it. They brought it. All right, we're gonna have a commercial. We'll be right
Are you looking
back.
for relief from pain, insomnia, or anxiety? I too was there. I was taking over 21 pills and supplements a day until I found CBD. CBD oil helped relieve my pain, anxiety, and depression. I was able to wean myself off of all of my medicines. Yes, even my opioids. Listen, you can shop at houseofhemp.com for various ways to get CBD into your system to help you as well. You can get them in gummy form, flower form, or oil form, as I mentioned earlier. Listen, you can get your sleepy gummies, you can get your CBD gummies, your Delta 8 gummies, or even your Delta 9 gummies at a houseofhemp.com.
All right, thank you. Thank you, A House of Hemp, for sponsoring this episode. We're so at houseofhemp.com, plants over pills. So before the break, we're talking to Angela and JR. Listen, they was dropping so many gems. We're talking about pivoting. Sometimes you have to pivot in life when things doesn't go your way, not just in entrepreneurship, but in life as well. And also invest in yourself. A lot of people want to invest in cars and houses, the material things, but the most investment and the most important investment is investing in yourself, because once you have that knowledge, no one can take it away. But when you invest in yourself, also execute as well, and don't be average. Now, that was a bar by itself. Listen, I always tell people I am VIP, baby. Okay, I am not no regular smegular. I am not average. So we want to take their advice and their gems, and they're just dropping it. It's just rainfalls of gems that they're dropping. But understand, there was a process. They had to go through something to give this wisdom, to give this knowledge. And we're going to welcome them back to the stage, where they're going to continue to share some of their stories, and they're going to share their ins and the outs, the ups and the downs. Now, throughout all of your success and your groundbreaking ideas that you have, when it comes to just being an entrepreneur, that have, listen, being an entrepreneur, you have so many creatives. So then your average regular smuggler, they don't understand how our brain works. So
Right.
have y'all had challenges trying to relate that to people or different things? So what's some stories you share?
So let me start from the beginning. So I would always, like I said, sell something. I was selling pencils. I was selling candy bags, selling hair, selling lashes, doing eyebrows, doing all these things. But I was stopping and starting, stopping and starting. And you'll get a lot of people who don't understand. Oh, you always starting and doing this. Oh, you doing this again. And a lot of people let just somebody saying that bring them down and they quit. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep going until you find out what you're good at. But I was explaining to my psychiatrist that I was seeing maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and I was telling her about all these things about apartment locating and where I wanted to go with it and all these systems and things that I wanted to create for it. And she told me that I was having a manic episode. So that just goes to say that a lot of people won't understand how your brain works. They'll think you crazy. Some people will call you crazy. But if I didn't listen, if I didn't follow my dreams, I wouldn't have created so many six-figure earners, so many business owners and entrepreneurs. So sometimes the doctor may be right sometimes, but also sometimes the doctors just don't understand, especially like when you have a calling, they won't get it. Sometimes it's above them, you know. Sometimes our grace is higher than theirs and we working up here and they still down here. So we have to know how to distinguish the difference. Another thing is too, the two P's, protocol and procedures. You need to have your protocols and your procedures down, how you operate, how you work, what you can. I wake up at 6, 7 o'clock every morning. Every morning I'm up. We on
Okay.
prayer. We boom, boom, boom. You have to have it scheduled. Now the rest of my day might be crazy, but I know in the morning I'm gonna make sure I have that done. And sometimes it starts just there, having a little thing that you can do that's structured, so that you can grow the rest of your structure out. If that makes sense.
That's
Mm, mm,
powerful.
mm, mm.
That's
Yes.
powerful. And she tapped in on that. That's one of the things that, you need. Like when I was going through this entrepreneurial journey, like I had a morning routine. I listened to like Eric Thomas, Jim Rohn, Les Brown every morning. I was after my worship. Those are the things that I listened to. Like I had to get my mind right because, when you study how your brain works, you realize like your brain is like, it's very negative. Like your brain repeats
Mhm.
the same negative thoughts over and over and over. So there's times it's like, why don't you go get a job? Why don't you do this? You hear people telling you that because, for people, they don't understand trading time for money. They're so used to that because that's how the college system, is taught. Go to school, get a job and work for somebody else. Like, and when you study like Black history, the people that were the most successful during the times you had like Tulsa, Rosewood, and the Black Harlem Renaissance, most of the people own their own businesses. So we got away from that, and that's what's changed. That's why I love like the guys like Earn Your Leisure, how they're like, in motivating us to get into like understanding how wealth works, entrepreneurialism, and businesses. I love this movement, and they're making it cool where it's like it's not just the athletes, it's not just these entertainers. There's another lane. You got the Robert F. Smiths, that's a billionaire that you can go after. You got an Oprah Winfrey, that's a billionaire. You have all these other people now that are investing and they're going into like these different channels. So, you know, with us, the way our brains work, just being creators, you get bored easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I get bored. Like I started getting burned out doing real estate. So that's where this new challenge that we have with this company, it like drives me because like I'm at the phase now where I don't want to be an agent for the rest of my life. I want to have an exit plan early. I want to be able to retire. I have a son that's 4 years old. I want to be able I
Okay.
don't want to be like my dad that worked two jobs his whole life, and then retired and still works a little part time,
And then you have to
even
go
though he's
into it
retired. Like I don't
knowing.
want to be in that position.
You got to go into it
Exactly. So that's
knowing.
my
Like I
thing.
went into apartment locating knowing I was gonna be the top producing apartment locator that was around. And little did I know, in just what 90 days, I was that.
Yeah. No, it's powerful. No, she's
What?
right.
90 days? Oh But you just had a psychiatrist say you was having manic depression. So how did you push past that? That's what I want to
Let
know.
me tell you,
How did you push past
they gave
that,
me a
Angela?
bottle of pills. They gave me a bottle of pills. I don't even remember what they called. I never took them because I knew that I wasn't crazy, you know. And I just had
Right.
to. I got tired of proving to other people that I could do something, and I started doing it for my own self, for my purpose to fulfill my
Okay.
dreams and my calling. And that's what we have to do. Like, we'll get a lot of people coming at us negative, but stay focused on what it is that you trying to do, because they gonna come. They're gonna come. They're gonna be negative. But if you turn to those same people and ask them, "What have you done to help me?" Or "Are you gonna pay my bills?" The answer is gonna always be no. So their opinion don't matter. They're not gonna give
Yeah.
you a dime. Your tire's going flat. Ask one of your friends to buy you a tire and see how many of them come through.
So
Exactly.
true.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, it
Oh
is
my
kind
God.
of, it is somewhat crazy because, let's just say this: you have to have radical faith, you have to have crazy faith in yourself, because a lot of people, they're like projecting their negatives. They're like, they wish they could do what you are doing. They wish they could take a chance. They're so, like, they're still living childhood traumas where they can't bet on themselves. They had other people doing everything for them. Like, nah,
Mm.
I'm the reason I got into entrepreneurialism too. Like, I hated people telling me what to do. I don't mind listening and having, certain things, but I was telling this company literally, like, hey, you guys are blowing the leads. Like, you guys are harassing the people. That's not how you have proper customer service. By the time it's time for these people to, like, do business with you, they're turned off because you don't. It's like the one of my favorite books, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Like, you got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to,
Right.
like, create that love. And that it's like Christ's methods. Like, Christ was people's friends first, and then he ministered to their needs, and then he said, "Hey, come follow me." You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so that's the approach we want to have. We want to be like, hey, if you're somebody that's jumping in as an entrepreneur, like, this is what you got to do. Mindset first, purpose. It has to be right up there. That's not even an order, but I would say those two things need to be your first two things. What's your big why? Like, why are you
Yeah.
doing what you're doing? Because money, it's going to be things that, once you get money, it's going to be things that happen that are greater
Hold
than
on,
money.
JR. Well, let me get on that. When you say your big why, because a lot of people always because of my family and I want to build generational wealth. We need to figure out our why for real. We need to go down and figure out the ugly part of us that we don't like, that we want to change. And that's what I had to do. I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, I don't like this about myself. I want to change this. And in order for me to be the person that I want to be, I need to confront that. And that's why I don't want to be like that. That should be your why. You don't want to be how you used to be. You want to be better.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And I went to a
That's so
conference. It
true
was the
because so much. No, because hold on, JR, because that's what I'm thinking. A lot of times we don't deal with the truth. We don't want to deal with the ugliness. We don't want to deal with ourselves. We don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
real. We want to just
Mm-hmm.
skirt over it, fancy it up, dress it up, look cute, but in the inside,
Mm-hmm.
we're hurting, we're dealing with pain, we're dealing with
Yeah.
unforgiveness, we're dealing with an ugly spirit, and yet and still we go out here trying to be successful, but we haven't tapped
Yeah.
into who we are and
Our
getting from the
characters.
root, getting help from the
Mm-hmm.
root,
That's deep.
baby.
That's deep. That's real
Mm-mm-mm. Go
right
ahead, JR.
there.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
loving this.
Well,
Yeah.
well, this is one thing. I went to this Wealth Connect conference, and man, this is a big takeaway that I had, and it was like, I'm so glad I went. I invested in it. It was done by Anetta Powell. I'm gonna just give her a shout out. She had one of my favorite new online mentors, and Myron Golden. So I share his
Oh
stuff with
yeah.
Angela all the time. So Myron was like basically saying, like, what do you hate? And he was talking about, like, a lot of us are not where we want to be because we don't have a hate. Like, he said, he despises and gets disgusted with poverty. So
Mm.
I started thinking about all the things that I hate. Like, I hate being broke. I hate people telling me what to do. Like, he doesn't even like it was so funny because he's like, he only flies private because he says he don't fly commercial no more because they lost his luggage. People think he's arrogant and bougie. He's like, no, he had that bad experience. And I was like, man, you know what? I started thinking, I'm like, it really made me challenge myself. It's like, what are you, like, what's holding you back? Because you don't hate this bad enough. You don't hate struggling bad enough. You don't hate your
Mm.
family. You don't hate your mom not having the proper health care bad enough. You don't hate, like,
Woo!
you know,
We
your
going to
dad still,
church.
you
Come
don't
on.
hate your dad still having
Yes.
to still work a part-time job bad enough. Like your dad should be done and retired. So it's
Mhm.
like, you know, I mean, I had to hold back the tears because it was like, it's true. Because when he first said it, I was like, dang, man, you know, I'm saying I want to do this and that. I'm like, all right, I really gotta like go hard because I can't say that I'm tired of seeing my dad has a bad shoulder and he's still working. So it's like, nah, I'm not what I need to be. So let me tighten up and let me get
Mhm.
more information so I can transform my family's life because, you know, I'm too comfortable. And that's the thing. A lot of y'all out there, y'all too comfortable. You know, you're
And
comfortable
it's
working
a
that
lot of
job.
people too that's
You,
overseas. Y'all can make this type of money too,
Yeah.
because the business that we have and that the people that we trying to help have, they need assistance virtually. And it's plenty of jobs out there. I just want to put that out there for anybody that was wondering, like, oh, they talking about real estate in the United States. No, we need everybody. Some of the closest people I know are in Pakistan and the Philippines, and I never met them. I trust them in my
Wow.
life. So
Wow.
you go out there and build relationships with people that's trying to do something. And if you want to take part in that, let me say this too. A lot of people don't know how to take part in something. A lot of people see
Mm.
something and they want that for themselves. But sometimes you have to come and help somebody. Like my sister, she's been helping me for like 2 years now. Sometimes she gets the bare minimum pay, but she sees the
Okay.
vision. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to compromise. Sometimes you don't. But I just want to put that out there that there
Yes.
is jobs for everybody. Everybody can make something out of themselves, no matter what country you in. You can make six figures doing Airbnb hosting. You can do virtual assistants for real estate agents, you know, creating their graphics, things like that. So don't think that you're
Oh,
outside because you're not in America. You definitely in the room with us. Funnels, landing pages,
definitely.
websites, all that.
most definitely. I love that.
Okay.
That
That's
is so
powerful.
true.
So
Oh my
basically what,
goodness. I love that because there's so many people. Yeah.
Mhm.
They have so many gifts. But then when JR said about comfortable, we're so comfortable here. We're so comfortable because we have the minimum is they're high a lot of times in different countries as well. So we get so comfortable that we don't have that push and we don't take that our why and let it be our driving
Mhm.
force because we're
Right.
comfortable. And we have got to, like Jared said, we gotta hate it bad enough, like poverty, to say, I'm gonna do something about it and be
Mhm.
persistent, consistent, and execute. Go ahead,
One more
JR.
thing
I
too.
tell
Let
you.
me add this.
that's real.
Let
You
me
know,
add
he
just
said
one
something
last
that
thing.
Okay.
Be firm. Be firm with the people around you too, because they'll
Mhm.
drag you, they'll weigh you down, and they'll discourage you. So if it's not aligning with your vision and your purpose, let them go. It's not worth
Woo!
it.
Oh my God.
Let them
Hold on,
go.
child. Woo! I gotta give my clap on that one. Let them go. Let them
Let them
go.
go. Mm-hmm. Because I literally spent like
And
yeah.
sometimes it's
maybe four
family. Oh
months.
what? Come on.
It be the family. I spent 4 months of this year around people that meant me no good, and I would have gave them the shirt off my back and the food off my plate, and the whole time they was stabbing me in my back. So we have to be able to understand that we don't need friends while we building. We need people. We need help. So if you're not helping me and you're hindering me, you could be my friend, but I'm focused. So you can either come on with me or you got to wait right here till I get there.
I know that's right.
Mhm.
Woo! Okay. They are.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
y'all are
powerful.
just
Yeah, because I
really
mean she's right because you need discernment and you need that discernment.
mm, mm. Come on, we about to go to church. Where is the offering plate? Where is the music? Come
Listen,
on, we
she's
need a
right.
selection
Mhm.
because
You
this
about
is
to do
real talk.
about to do the appeal. We got to do the appeal. It's appeal time.
Yeah.
Bring them to the altar.
Oh my God, I'm so
But that's
excited
the
to have
thing.
y'all here.
But low
Yeah,
key.
go ahead.
But that's what this is all about. This is like purpose driven. You know, it's purpose
Mm,
driven. And you're right. There are people that are going through this like, man, I'm not in America. What can I do? Like number one, you got to get your skills up. Like you got to get your skills up. Like you cannot like be the
right.
same person. you have 180 days left in the year. So that's a lot of time. A lot can change, and you can carry that momentum into the new year. And like a lot of things will happen, but that's not going to happen unless you change. So that means, again,
Mm-hmm.
back to what we spoke about, you got to sacrifice. You got to maybe sacrifice sleep, time. If you got a family, obviously you don't want to take away from that. But I mean, you got to wake up early, wake up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Is that way you
Mm-hmm.
can maximize your days? Two,
And let me say family,
again, like
because
use
that
your
gets
discernment.
difficult.
Like who are the people that you're around?
Family
Yeah.
gets difficult. Family gets difficult. Like I spent a lot of time away from my own children because I had to build something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So a lot of people don't look at it like that. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, she left, she went and working all these hours, don't have time for the children and stuff like that." But in the next 3 years, when I'm retired, I can look back and say, "Hey, this is what I did it for. My children have paid education and things like that." So sometimes it's gonna take time away from your family, some away from your husband, away from your kids, and it's gonna hurt. But you have to stay focused on the goal. And if you give up at any point in time, all that time you spent away from your family is for nothing. You failed them. So that's
mm.
why you got to keep going.
But that's where that's real talk, Angela. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's where we have guilt. We have that
Mm-hmm.
mom guilt. We have that dad guilt, and it stops us. But it's a sacrifice. And if your kids
Mm-hmm.
are old enough to understand, and listen, even if they ain't, you know what's best for your family, and you're
Yeah.
sacrificing your time, your efforts, your money. At one point I was gone every weekend. I was gone at a conference or something, and building. Because
Mm-hmm.
listen, I at one point I said, I don't raise y'all children. I have teenagers. I've raised y'all. I got to live my life. And that's a part of trying to understand who you are, because we
Mm-hmm.
lose ourselves so much.
Yes.
And when
Mm-hmm.
times get hard, we lose ourselves. When you're trying to do so much and you're trying to build, you don't know who you are. So we got to get to that point to understand and put the value. And when you put your value in who you are, you're going to invest in yourself. You're going to make
Mm-hmm.
those sacrifices, because you know at the end what the goal is going to be. Man, let me. Woo! This is
You're going to make
awesome. I love it.
mistakes. You're going to do some things that you probably shouldn't have done in your business, but you got to take accountability
Right.
for it. You got to learn from it. Don't do it again and grow from it. So it's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be heartbreak, tears, blood, sweat, and tears through the whole
Mm,
process,
say
literally. Like,
it.
but you got to keep going. If you quit, you
And,
fail. You quit, you fail.
exactly. Exactly. And another thing too is that
Mm,
if we can do it, you can do it. I just remember, like, I remember walking in my neighborhood listening to those audios, and then I found myself working in California, being in billionaires' houses. Like, because of, like, I did a cold email. So I did a cold email to someone I worked with. And, like, next thing you know, he's like, "Man, I really like the value in your ideas." He's like, "I want to fly you out to help me build my company." So I realized, wow, you know what? This thing works. Like, when you start believing in yourself and start doing these things, it's going to change your life. Like, just like me reaching out to Angela, like, you know, I didn't think, that she was going to be like approachable. I thought, like, sometimes people, when they go through stuff, they're like, I reached out to other people in the group and they weren't as kind, and, but she saw that there was something in me because I was persistent. I didn't stop. I was like, because I knew that once she got to know me, she'd be like, okay, yeah, I see why.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Yeah,
gotten to see the people that are in my sphere of influence.
mm-hmm.
And she knows that I'm
and
serious. And like the phone calls we've had with people, the conferences, the meetings, is real.
it's
yeah.
mind blowing to say. And let me tell you where I come from. When I first started, I had a 1-bedroom apartment and I have 5 kids. We had mattresses, twin mattresses that my sister husband gave us from his children, my nieces and nephews. So they were used, and we used that for the first couple months that I lived there. And maybe 60 days later, JR, I had did a $48,000 invoice for a complex, and it was up from there. So you just gotta. It's crazy. So you can go
What?
from
Wait a minute. Hold
nothing.
up. Pause.
I got one better. I
Pause.
got an
Pause.
invoice
Pause.
coming up.
Come
The
on.
invoice I
Talk.
got
Talk.
coming up, it's gonna be 80 grand. I leased 40 over 40 units last month. So in 60
What?
days, I'll be able to invoice.
Oh my goodness. That's like
There's
next
gonna be
next
days when
level.
you be flat broke, but you're
Yeah.
gonna get some money. And when you get your money, you take it and you invest it into what's gonna bring you money.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Put it back into your business. So whether it be being a sponsor on the Sheila C Hill Show, pay the money,
Yes.
get your business out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
people can hear about you. Um,
That's
Websites,
right.
people need to spend money on branding. People need to look good because it's a lot of people that I go on their page and I have to wonder if they real or not. You know what I'm saying? And they want business. So we got to put
Wow.
all that into effect.
Okay, so as you're saying that, what do you say? What do you guys? What advice would you give to new entrepreneurs who sometimes have imposter syndrome? I just did an episode on imposter syndrome, and it can be the death of you. But what do you say to new entrepreneurs who are embarking now, especially during this economy? What advice would you give them?
If they don't use their gift and what God gave them, uh, they're gonna
Mm,
lose it. So
mm.
if you're gonna be an imposter about it, he gonna give it to somebody else. You still have a gift, but because you haven't used it, he gonna give it to somebody else, and they gonna use it. And you gonna look at. And I know people have done it before because I even did it. I looked and I said I had that same idea. If I would have just did it,
Uh-huh.
it's some mesh bags that you can literally buy in the store now. I call, one of those 1-800 number. You have an idea to
Uh-huh.
create a mesh bag to wash the fitted sheets in because they kept tangling
Uh-huh.
all my stuff up. Boom, couple
Okay.
years. I think it was this year when I seen it in the store. I was just like, if I would have
Wow.
kept going, but that wasn't my calling. I wasn't meant to make mesh bags so they can have it.
They make you feel good anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, JR, what would you say? Oh my goodness. Mm,
Well, that goes to say that goes to show, like, there's no original ideas. That's one thing my mentor always said, is just
yeah,
ideas that were executed on. Like, that's the key.
that's right.
Execution. All this stuff can be great. For me with imposter syndrome, I feel it sometimes, but a lot of that comes from not being grateful. When you're not grateful for what God's
Mm,
given you and you understand, like, I think for me that's where it comes from. It's like, man, you have a gift. You better be grateful for that, because there's people that don't see this. And this goes back to, like, how this faith is big in our, like, business is big for us. That's why we're partners. Like, I had to have
yeah,
faith to know that that program will work for me. So I had to have faith to know that me reaching out to Angela was going to work. So I think a lot of the people, they need to have just more faith in themselves. So there's something like, you're going back to the essence, because we're like God, like, in the sense that we're creative. That's the original thing. Like, use your creativity to make you money. There's nothing wrong with that. So
There's
we have to
nothing
go
wrong with
back
what
to
you're saying.
believing,
Let me
like,
say
hey,
that
you know
because
what?
it'll be
This
some
is like from
people
him.
watching saying, "Oh, he
mm,
said he's like God. God made us to be in His image. So these things we're supposed to do. Even He said we're supposed to do it greater than Him.
right.
So
That's so true.
mhm.
Exactly.
That is so
Exactly.
true.
So we're using this platform because guess what? We can reach millions at one time. Like, before, you had to be in one place. Now, with technology, we can reach millions of people, and it could be on forever. So this one recording can be a legacy for years. It could be a
That's right.
documentary. Who knows? It could piece of this could be in a documentary. That's what this
Yes,
online stuff is about. It could be like, it's a digital library now. So we have to start looking at content, the things that create at a different level, because no, you're not an imposter. If you know who you are and whose you are, you're not going to think like that, because that, to me,
come on.
has some
Come
of
on.
the, like, there's some of that human weakness and that frailty where you don't, like, know where
Mhm.
you're coming from. No, we're divinely created. We're built in His image. So because of that, like, we're supposed to do good things because we come from them.
That's
You talk
right.
about God had to, like, literally shut down the people because they were on one accord. That's another thing. That's another takeaway. They were so close and
Right.
working together
Yes.
that He had to confuse their languages, because they were gonna go. They were up, like, right there, like they were going into the heavens. But He created that because He
Mhm.
saw, like, man, if these people can get locked in and focused, like, they're powerful. And that's one thing that we all have to see. Like, and that's how I feel with Angela. When we're locked in together, we're powerful, and we're gonna have an army.
Mhm.
We're attracting other people to us because of the purpose and the passion, and they see, like, anytime we have conversations, some people think it's too big. They're like they may be intimidated because they didn't realize, like, wow, we have a new person that we're going to be working with that's going to really help us. And as creatives, we do have some weaknesses. Like, I don't like paperwork. I'm
Yeah.
sure Angela don't like it either, because I rather use that energy on creativity. That's the thing, like you
Yes.
said, that's a big thing. So you got to know your weaknesses and your strengths. That's another takeaway.
Yes.
I don't like paperwork. Just let me meet the people, then put me in front of people. Like, this my lane. I can talk. I'm a
I
talk
feel
now.
you.
But I'm an introvert, low key. But I talk about things I'm passionate about. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna talk about that's. But when it comes to helping people and making a change to help them overcome, like we
Wow.
have, like we're dealing with
Right.
stuff. Just today, my mom was going through something. Like we realized today. Like, I mean, you're talking about today. Like, literally, like my
Yeah.
mom realized she can't stay in the house. She's gonna have to. She fought her home health aide, so now we're gonna have to put her in a facility. That's gonna be hard. I don't want
Okay.
to see my mom up in
Yeah.
like some home jail. That's basically what it's gonna be. I don't want my son to
Right.
have to see her like that, but we got no choice because she's not gonna get the proper care. So that's a battle. I'm gonna have to grieve that, losing my mom, seeing her transition. But you know what?
Gotta
She's
keep going.
alive.
Right.
She's still
Yep.
here. There's people that don't have their mom. So it's
Right.
like
And
I
when
look
you
at things
said
different. I
grieve,
can at least still see her. She's here.
Right.
it's okay to grieve, but don't
Right,
stop. My
Angela?
sister, my sister, and my best friend, the two closest people to me, passed in these last 2 years. And the next day,
Oh,
I
wow. I'm
showed
sorry.
up. Thank you.
Wow.
And the next day, I showed
Wow.
up, show up, and I haven't stopped showing up. Some days I don't even want to make a post, but I get on my phone and I post a picture and tell everybody good morning, something. So
Yeah.
we have our struggles, but we still push through it. We make a little step to show up still.
And that's why it's so important to have self-care and
Mhm.
to prioritize our mental health. Just because we have so much, and like JR is saying, taking care of your family, you taking care of your kids, your parents, and then we're the last ones to take care of ourselves. So sometimes you
Mhm.
have to pause, and sometimes in that fight you are pushing so you can show up, because when you stop
Mhm.
showing up, you can be stagnated, and then depression can sit in, and then before you know, you're just in a corner rocking because you are about to lose it. So
Right.
instead of getting to that place, take that time, pause, realize what's going on, and then of course, I'm a woman of faith, so I will pray, but hey, therapy too, prayer and Jesus and therapy is what
Mhm.
I need. So
Uh,
I don't say not go to therapy. Go to
Yeah.
therapy. Have a regimen that you need that's going to help you. But at the end of the day, you've got to make yourself number one priority to take care of your
Right.
mental health. Period.
Right.
Period.
And we have to
So
stop
and so many times,
complaining and start declaring.
go ahead. Come on.
We got
That
to
is so
declare
true. But so many
things
times
over
we
our
say,
life.
well, it's and we say, "Oh, woe is me. I had
Mhm.
this and told me," and you want to have that pity party, but that's what
Mhm.
is going to get you further down, deeper down, and hold you longer than you want it to hold you. And before you know, the
Mhm.
devil done got the whole glory, and God ain't
Yeah.
got nothing.
Mm-mm.
Woo, honey. Let me. Okay,
Right.
let's just
I mean,
let's wrap
I
this
love
up because
I love.
Okay.
go ahead, Jr.
I'm gonna say this last thing. No test, like Les Brown says it. No test, no testimony. So
That's right.
for me, like the closest I've gotten in my walk was with this situation that I went through with my family.
Okay.
My cousin, one of my oldest cousins, he's like my big brother, and I'm Sam Blanchard. I'm gonna give him a shout out. And he was like, "Man, you got to get back to nature." So I was like, "What does nature look like?" I don't like going to the walks. I don't like to walk on the. So I started going to the beach. I live real close to the beach,
Okay.
man. And
Okay.
people were probably, mad at me because I was posting a peach every single day. But that's when I started, like, I heard this sermon from Devon Franklin, and he was just talking about how he just started like reading his word, and I just started with Psalms, and I was reading Psalms. Like I was focusing on the book of Psalms because there's so many promises and just so many powerful things in there. And when I tell you, so for me, that was one thing I did. I got back with nature. I got back to the natural. I got to see the birds. I got to hear the
Yeah.
sounds of the ocean. and things like that. So if you're in a situation where you have mountains, whatever, for me, that's what got my mental health back, was like going, reading that word, listening to a powerful song, a playlist,
Yes.
just have my worship playlist. That's what got me right, because there's times, I'll tell you, even though it wasn't going good, I still was consistently going. I only stopped going because there was a scare at the beach with this flesh growing bacteria. I'm like, man, I can't take no chances. I'm trying to build something great. So it kind of makes
Yes.
me, a little bit upset. I might go to, yeah, that's the only reason I stopped going, because I got scared. I was like, man, I don't want to take no chances. I got my
I know
sons,
that's
and
right.
I got so much I got to deal with. So I was like, I can't add to the drama my family has. So I feel like something's missing. So I'm gonna probably go tomorrow, because I feel like, all right, let me start my routine, because I felt, second half, we got, second quarter, we got it's still time in the game. There's still time.
Come
So
on.
if you're
That's
starting a
right. That's
business,
right.
if you're doing July 4th today, you got a whole bunch of time. Like there's some, by the time September 1st comes, so much could have
Come on.
changed in the next 2 months. So, but that comes from the
Yes.
daily like rituals and the practices that you have. So, self-care. Like for me, like, when I was going through my depression, I wasn't like shaving. I wasn't, like, getting out of bed at a certain time, just, taking a good shower, little things like that felt so good. I feel
Right.
like I love taking like a hot shower. I'm probably crazy. Probably people probably think I'm crazy, but for me, it's therapeutic. It's
That's right.
almost like a sauna like type of thing. Exercising. I
Mhm.
like playing basketball, so that's my therapy. So
Good.
it's definitely speaking to people with wisdom. Seeing therapists and counselors. So these are all things like, because again, mental health is a big thing. So
Right.
you have to be locked in mentally, because otherwise you'll be stuck.
Right. And a lot of
I,
people
I
think,
like what you
As a
said
business
too
owner, if you're not taking care of your mental.
about
right. And,
showering. So my mom deals with mental health too, and
oh, wow.
she doesn't shower like she should. And I knew growing up that I never wanted to be like that. I always wanted. So you'll catch me
Okay.
taking 2 or 3 showers a day sometimes, and I knew um
Okay.
and this was before I started. I knew whenever I went 2 days and I stood in the shower and the water, I was like this again, the water was hitting me like that. I knew then something was wrong. So know your body, know when something wrong so you can
Mm,
address it. And when you address
mm.
it, take it completely off the board. Like, okay, I felt like this day. So now I'm gonna make sure every morning, every night I'm in there. And then I was able to, because it gets bad sometimes. Sometimes we fight, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So a lot of
Right.
things we fight are within our inner man and in our spirits, and we need to cleanse them and get them together. And
That is so true.
persist. One of my favorite sayings, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this, is from OG Mandingo, and he wrote the book The Greatest Salesman in the World. And he said, I will persist until I succeed. No matter what you're going through, sometimes you might not feel like even getting in the shower. Keep going.
Mm. Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh. And that's what I was going to ask you all, like, okay, understanding your challenges and understanding where you are and what you can see, because I know you all see greatness. Um and you all have really helped so many people. How can people get up with you? I wanted y'all to have your last statements. I don't know, Angela, if that was yours, but just your last statement to whomever that you want to speak to. And please let us know your social media handles. How can people get in contact with you? But I want you all to know I am so thankful that you all are here today. This is just not a regular podcast. This is a podcast to make a difference. And this is a podcast that is going to reach millions. But I just want to thank y'all, because I'm really getting emotional at this point, because it resonates, and for you all to be so transparent, to understand, especially with mental health. So many people skirt around that and they're embarrassed and they're not saying, this is so important. And if we can help one person, we've done our job. But I
Yes.
just believe you all's testimony, your speaking, and your transparency has helped someone, has saved someone. I just believe that. I just feel it right now
Thank
in my
you.
spirit. And I'm just so thankful to have y'all on. But if you can give your last words and give us your social media handles, and if you have any offers that you want to share, y'all go for it. I'm just so full. Whoever want to go
So I'll
first.
go. I want to leave y'all with two scriptures. One is that
Okay.
you will lend to many nations. You will be the lender and not the borrower. That's a promise that is in the Bible. And also that God wants you to prosper and be in good health. That is another one that's in the Bible. So when you go to battling these things in with your mind and things like that, say, God, you said in your word that you wanted me to prosper and be in good health, and you're not a man that you should lie. So I use the Bible to fight in a lot of battles. So I want to leave y'all with that. Use your word, whoever you believe in. Just stay focused and meditate on the things that you want to have in life. And if you guys want to follow me, you can go to solo.to/Angela TX Realtor to follow me on all platforms.
Okay. Can you repeat that, Angela?
It's
Solo. .to.
solo.to/Angela
Slash.
TX Realtor.
Okay. And that will be in the show notes as well. Thank you very much, Angela. All right, JR,
Thank
your
you for
last
having
words and
me.
how contact. Yes, you're welcome.
Uh, the last few words I would say is, look,
Over to you,
you're not
JR.
alone. There's other people that are going through this. You're not alone. This could be worse. That's one thing I always think about, because, like, look at my situation. I'm like, it's not perfect. My mom, she's bipolar schizophrenic. I've never had a proper mom like my whole life. But you know what? I got my mom. She's here. There's so many people. So I started like looking back, like, man, you got to start being more grateful for stuff, because you're just complaining about the things that you don't have sometimes. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm looking like, man, you at least got the, I'm giving this thing for a reason. I have this particular mom for a reason. So this is my gift that God gave me to the world. So use it to your advantage. This is my situation. Let me not allow it to become like a curse, but I want it to be a blessing for me and others. So that's how I started looking at stuff in my life. Like these last, I'll be 40 next year. So these last few years I have left, I'm on the other side of a shorter life. I'm like, this has to be the greatest time that I have. So now that I have
Yeah.
all this wisdom, I'm like, I need to definitely capitalize on it. So, and also very important, like, I'm such a big believer in invest in yourselves. People, please, you can start with YouTube for free. Be resourceful. Like, if you don't have the money, which a lot of times I didn't, I started for free. Like, that's like, me and Angela both have moms with mental illness. My mom has the same thing. But I felt like I was alone. I'm like, man, I felt like I was the only person that had that. And that all came from an investment in a course. So, whatever you have to do, if you
Wow.
have to borrow it, whatever, invest in yourself, and take care of yourself. Those are the things that I would say that have transformed my life. Especially like personal development. That's so important to me. Like, Angela, one of the reasons why we can work together is because she ain't afraid to pay for a course. Like,
Come
I
on.
respect that so much about her, because you're gonna be successful, and that determination and grit, that it's there because you believe that it's gonna work. So faith too. You gotta have that faith, because I knew
Yeah.
that just by me connecting with her. Now I'm on
Yeah.
podcasts. This is like my second podcast. I never was having these opportunities before. You got to get around the right
Yeah.
people. That's three. That's another
That's
one.
right.
That's another takeaway. You got to be in the right rooms with the right people, and that can transform your lives. And I know, because this partnership and brotherhood and sisterhood that we have, we're gonna change lives, because the purpose is
Amen.
pure. It's to help others. So,
Mhm.
and they can
Hey,
reach me
listen,
at
y'all,
my
brothers and
handle,
sisters.
Instagram, is J.
Hold on, JR. Y'all brothers and sisters. I'm gonna be the auntie. Y'all don't leave me out.
Okay,
Hold up. Auntie Sheila is coming.
we got you.
Hey, listen,
Yes,
we got you. We got you.
yes, yes,
That's
yes.
it. And
Okay,
look,
so
we need the wisdom. We definitely need, we can appreciate the wisdom. We always need the wisdom
Yes.
from our
yes,
elders. So we definitely gonna take it.
let's go.
That's
Okay,
it.
JR,
So
how can people contact you? What's your
yeah,
social
I
media handle?
appreciate you.
Yes.
All of them are pretty much the same as J Alexander Group. It's GRP. I didn't want the group to be too long, so it's JALEXANDRE GRP. But the focus will be once we build up our next page. Hopefully we'll be invited back on, and we'll hopefully in the next few months be at another phase of paging, and we'll have more to share about the journey.
Of course, you're always welcome back. We would love to see the progress as you build. I'm so excited for you all. Many blessings to your upcoming endeavors. I know God has his hand over you all. He is going to bless you to levels that you can't even imagine. So thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it, for stopping by and dropping these knowledge and all of this on the Sheila C Hill Show is where it's at. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And until next time, we will check you all out.
All right, bye.
Yes. So at this time, we're going to wrap this. We're going to wrap this session up. I tell you, it was wonderful. I just am in awe, almost speechless. Y'all know I'm not hardly ever speechless, but I'm so thankful that they were able to come and give us this knowledge. I now have to relax, relate, release. I always tell y'all to relax, relate, release. Now I got to do it because that was so, it's so feeling, and I'm so excited. So now if you're a super dope, now they were super dope. Aren't they? Like what? They got it. They bringing it, but they're real. And that's what I love about being transparent and people that are real and about helping others. That's what the show is about. So if you have an extraordinary story, or if you have a business or anything that you want to advertise and you want to come and show your story, tell your story about your lifestyle, your entrepreneurship, or even in mental health, just reach out to us at the Sheila C Hill Show at thesheilachillshow.com and just request to be a guest. If you would like to be a sponsor, or if you want to have a commercial, please just reach out to us and we'll be glad to get in contact with you. And if you have feedback about the show, if you resonated with anything, this is where we want to have you. We're family, right? So I want to hear, what was your takeaway from this episode? What is something that Angela said that resonated with you? What is something that JR said that resonated with you? Because, I'm your girl, right? So we're going to have this conversation. Is it something that you're afraid to bring out about your life? Are you afraid? I want you to understand that we are in this together. We're going to be real about this. We're in this together. So until next time, listen, y'all know how I feel about y'all. If no one said it today, I love you and I highly appreciate you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Okay. You are loved and highly appreciated. So until next time, let's get it. Let's go. Until next time on the Sheila C Hill Show. Have a good day.